Hello and welcome. Today we are at Dragon Studios as part of the Connecting Teachers with Industry programme. We're here to find out more about the career pathways in the film and TV industry in Wales. So stay tuned to hear a bit more about it and to listen to the people who work in this fascinating industry.
So yes, we're Screen Alliance Wales. We're non-for-profit. We were set up by this vision of Jane Tranter that every local person that lived in the locality should have the option of coming in and working in a studio that she set up or a production company. And that wasn't just on her productions, that was on productions all across Wales. We are funded by the industry for the industry, so we're funded by Bad Wolf, University of South Wales, which covers some of the FE colleges as well. The big facility companies in Wales, HBO, Warner Brothers and S4C, and we're talking to BBC and another funder. Jane Tranter had a vision when she came back to Wales, and Gareth and Tom knew Jane because she actually bought Doctor Who back in 2003. When they first came back, they started to use all crews from London, bringing them down, and then they suddenly realised that we have the crews here, why are we bringing in crew when we can crew it from Wales? And hence the story of Doctor Who and how it really spurred on the whole of what you're seeing to this day, really.
The workshops, it's about sort of giving people, let's say, from primary up through the secondary to the colleges. It's about hoping to give people that insight into those greater variety of opportunities, that it's not just about the camera and the extroverts who can be performing. It's about all the kind of skill sets that are all pivotal to the productions going ahead.
The next thing after that we go on to is traineeships. So our remit is trying to get as many people as possible into the industry, and not just people studying media, you know, like geography, you need it for locations, you know, accounts, maths, there's lots of different sort of cross-curricular links that will go into like this, what do we call it, Al, like a micro?
It's like it's an industry within an industry, because you look at every single element of the production pathway. You've got caterers, you've got medics, and each one of those people is just as important as the director at the top, because if you haven't got those people, you haven't got production. You know, the carpenter building the sets, the electricians turning on the lights, the riggers, the scaffolders, all very well paid, lovely jobs that can take you on a career. And there's a lot of skills transfer as well.
Well, our next sort of step up from work shadowing is paid traineeships. So we've had 71 paid trainees over several of the productions I just mentioned, and again it is on the job training, and we particularly look for people that have not got any experience in the industry, and sometimes not even trained. We put our job adverts out, and it's like, are you nice, are you enthusiastic, have you got an interest, do you want to work, and we're trying to get people in like that.
Always looking to develop in new subjects. I'm always on the lookout for a challenge from a teacher who can sort of say, oh, there's no links to my subject, at which point, so most recently I've developed a marketing one for the business and maths. Also sort of just testing out for the first time next week a biomechanics one, looking at sort of the biology and physics required to do VFX work. And then the idea being all these things lead forward onto sort of people being able to access our online website with our sort of production directory, and hopefully helping with events like today. But yeah.
And it's another thing to notice, we're not just drama. It looks very much like we're drama centric, but we're not. We're working now with the BFI, the British Film Institute, to develop non-scripted, so through live events, sports and documentary filmmaking. So we're developing that because, yes, drama is the king, I suppose you'd say, because everybody watches drama, but there's so much more that goes on in Wales that is probably as valuable as drama.
I'm Gareth Skelding. I'm probably a location manager. I left school at sort of 17, I think, really more interested in sports and things, and it was through sports I sort of got the bug for this industry, in terms of I was playing rugby in the back end of Tredegar or Treville or Abercwmboi, and I thought, God, the amazing steelworks up here, the old industry that was up there, all the landscapes, and I sort of got into it as a runner and started picking up actors, picking up the tea, and then we took it from there. And then my interest in Wales and my love for Wales, I'm a Welsh speaker, through school, and at that time it was sort of mid-late 90s. S4C was quite a thriving industry, and I sort of stepped into the industry that way. And did a lot of work in Welsh initially, but then got the bug of Wales. I love showing off Wales. I can talk. I'm a salesman. It's half my job is selling this marvellous country we've got to producers and directors.
So, a little bit about myself. So I very much similar to guys in a lot of ways. Started off working on S4C productions, Welsh language productions. That gave me really good grounding, really good discipline and education in the industry. Because on those productions there's no money, so if you're a runner you're also probably a spark, you're also probably a driver, you're also probably doing props, and you're doing a bit of everything. It's the best way to start and to learn, and so you learn a bit of everything, but you get a bit of an oversight of everyone else's jobs as well. So through that, honed in on locations, did a lot of work on locations alongside guys for a lot of the time. Worked on things like Sherlock and various productions that are around. But outside of that, my role then is to engage with people like Alison and local education and colleges around to make sure that the next generation of our industry are coming through. Because I can fill this place all day long, but if there's no crew to facilitate it, I don't have a business. It's making sure that that next generation understand what types of roles there are in this industry and how they get into the industry. Certainly growing up, I didn't think of this as an industry. This is just something that people did, but I'd never thought of working film and TV would be my future. But these days, it's a proper industry. There are well-paid jobs, and there are thousands of people in Wales alone employed doing it. And the scope of roles go from accounts through to woodworking, through to prop making, through to transport, through to people who are just great with logistics, booking hotels. But the industry, I think, is changing at the moment as well. The advent of gaming technology and digital technology is huge, and that really is going to be the next big thing coming through to this industry.
I think it's important also because I think the creative industries is now overtaken as one of the biggest employers in Wales. So it's something that's not going to go away. It's taking over from the heavy industries that we used to have. And, the growth that we've seen, especially when you say with VFX, and, I say by the time you spell technology, it's moved on. It's really quick, but these companies are recognising that, the colleges and the universities are doing some really good work. University of South Wales is one of the best VFX courses, and they were Oscar, Dune that won the Oscars. Had, I can't remember how many students from EESW on it, but that's pretty good for a local Welsh university.
Netflix are talking to us now about the building here and things like that, because they've got so much content to shoot, nowhere to shoot it. Now, there's not enough crews around the world to shoot what they've got. So the demand is going to be there now. As long as we all keep pressing Netflix and Amazon and Apple and sit at home and watching that stuff, and and we're watching 8 episodes in an afternoon on a Sunday, they can't churn it out quick enough. So that industry has gone bang. And because we're all paying that £8 a month or whatever it is, that money is there, and they're willing to spend, and they're willing to build and invest in infrastructure. But we need those people to come through and follow that now.
Everything we do links back to the curriculum, because otherwise, I think Sarah said, we love having the children in or the students in, but we want them to have an experience that they can take with them. So everything we do is linked to that curriculum.